Here's how it all began. The box. It was a shoebox. Faded blue. Tucked at the back of her closet behind winter coats she never wore and a pair of boots that hurt her feet. He wasn't supposed to find it. He was supposed to be at work. But he came home early with a headache, and she was in the shower, and the closet door was open. He didn't mean to read them. At least, that's what he told her later. He saw the letters, saw her handwriting on the envelopes. Year 1, Year 2, Year 3, and curiosity got the better of him. She came out of the bathroom with a towel on her head and found him sitting on the edge of the bed. The shoebox was open on his lap. His face was white. His hands were shaking. "What are these?" he asked. Her heart stopped. "Those are private. These are letters, Nora. To me. 7 of them. You never sent them. Leo, please." Year 1, he read aloud. His voice cracked. "Dear Leo, I love you. I think. But I'm not sure I know how. My father left when I was 7. My mother spent 10 years waiting for him to come back. She never dated again. She never smiled again. She died waiting. So when you told me you loved me, I wanted to run. I didn't run. I wrote this letter instead. But I won't send it. Because if I send it, you'll know how broken I am. And then you'll leave. Everyone leaves." Nora sank to the floor. She couldn't stop him. She couldn't even move. Year 2, he continued. "Dear Leo, you moved in today. I watched you put your toothbrush next to mine. I almost cried. Not because I was happy, because I was terrified. Now your things are in my bathroom. Your books are on my shelf. You're everywhere. And I keep waiting for the moment you realize you've made a mistake. I keep waiting for you to leave. You haven't left yet, but you will. So I'm writing this letter so that when you do, I'll have proof that I saw it coming." His voice broke. He didn't stop. Year 3. "Dear Leo, we fought today. About money. About the future. About whether we want kids. You said I was emotionally unavailable. You were right. I wanted to tell you why. I wanted to tell you about my father. About my mother. About the way I learned, as a child, that love is just a lie people tell before they disappear. But I didn't. I smiled. I said I was sorry. I let you think it was your fault. Then I came home and wrote this letter. Because I can tell you anything on paper. Just not to your face." Nora was crying now. Quietly. She didn't wipe the tears. Year 4. "Dear Leo, you proposed today. You got down on one knee in the rain. You were so happy. I said yes. But when I said yes, I was lying. Not about loving you. About believing I deserve you. I don't. I know I don't. One day you'll figure it out. One day you'll meet someone whole. Someone who wasn't broken by a man who walked away 20 years ago. And you'll wonder why you wasted so much time on me. I'm writing this letter so I don't forget. You deserve better. And I'm too selfish to give you up." He stopped. He looked at her. His eyes were wet. "Why didn't you send these?" he whispered. "I was scared." "Of what?" "Of you knowing me. The real me. The one who's afraid all the time. The one who doesn't believe she's worth staying for." He set the box down. He walked over to her. He knelt on the floor and took her face in his hands. "I'm not your father," he said. "I'm not going to leave." She wanted to believe him. She wanted to say something brave and true. But the fear was too old, too deep. So she just nodded. She let him hold her. She pretended that was enough. That was 6 months ago. 6 months since he found the letters. 6 months since he promised he wouldn't leave. 6 months of her waiting for the other shoe to drop. Yesterday, the other shoe dropped. He left. No note. No call. No explanation. His clothes were gone. His toothbrush was gone. The ring, the one he'd put on her finger in the rain, was on the kitchen table next to the shoebox. She opened the box. Inside, a new letter. His handwriting. One sentence. "You were right. I should have read the letters sooner. That's all. Nora has been sitting on the kitchen floor for 12 hours. She hasn't eaten. She hasn't slept. She has stared at the ring, the box, the note. She has replayed every moment of the last 6 months. Every conversation, every silence, every time he looked at her like he was trying to solve a puzzle he couldn't quite understand. She knows why he left. Not because he stopped loving her. Because she never let him all the way in. Because she gave him 7 years of her body, her time, her laughter, but not her fear. Not the ugly part. Not the part that still flinches when someone says, forever. She built a wall. He climbed it for 7 years. And when he found the letters, he finally understood. The wall wasn't protecting her from him. It was protecting her from herself. And he couldn't climb a wall she refused to tear down. So he left. Now, at 3:17 in the morning, Nora does something she has never done before. She opens her laptop. She opens a blank document. And she begins to write. Not a letter. The letter. The one she should have written 7 years ago. The 8th letter. Dear Leo, I don't know if you'll ever read this. I don't know if you're already gone, really gone, or if you're just waiting to see if I'll finally say the things I've been too afraid to say. I was 7 years old when my father left. I remember the door slamming. I remember my mother's face, not sad, not angry, just empty, like someone had scooped out everything inside her and left the shell. She never got over it. She never even tried. She just sat in his armchair every night and watched TV with the sound off. She stopped cooking, stopped laughing, stopped looking at me the way she used to. I wasn't her daughter anymore. I was a reminder of the man who left. I learned, at 7, that love is a trap, that giving your whole heart to someone is the most dangerous thing you can do. Because when they leave, and they always leave, you don't just lose them, you lose yourself. So I made a promise. I would never love anyone the way my mother loved my father. I would keep one foot out the door. I would never let myself need someone so much that their absence could break me. Then I met you. You were everything I was afraid of. You were kind. You were patient. You looked at me like I was a miracle, and I kept waiting for you to realize I wasn't. Every year, on our anniversary, I wrote you a letter. Not because I wanted to hide from you, because I wanted to be honest, but I couldn't. So I wrote the truth on paper and buried it in a shoebox. I told myself that counted for something. I told myself that one day, when I was brave enough, I would give them to you. That day never came. You found them instead. And I watched you read the worst parts of me. The fear, the doubt, the ugliness I've carried since I was 7. And you didn't run. You stayed. You knelt on the floor and held my face and said you weren't going to leave. I wanted to believe you. God, Leo, I wanted to. But I didn't. I couldn't. Because the 7-year-old girl in my chest was screaming, don't trust him. He'll leave. They always leave. So I didn't tear down the wall. I just painted it. I smiled. I said I love you. I let you think I was getting better. I wasn't. I was just getting better at hiding. And now you're gone. And I don't blame you. I blame my father. I blame my mother. I blame every version of myself that chose fear over courage, silence over honesty, safety over love. But mostly, I blame myself. Because you asked me, 100 times, to let you in. You asked me what I was afraid of. You asked me why I flinched when you said forever. And every time, I said nothing. I lied. I was afraid of this. Of you finally giving up. Of you realizing that loving me was like trying to hold water. The harder you tried, the faster I slipped through your fingers. You didn't leave because you stopped loving me. You left because you finally understood that I was never going to let you love me all the way. And that's not your fault. That's mine. So here's the truth. All of it. No walls. No shoebox. I love you. I have loved you since the first night we met, when you made me laugh so hard I snorted coffee out of my nose. I love your terrible jokes and your even worse cooking. I love the way you talk to your mother on the phone every Sunday, even when she gives you bad advice. I love the way you look at me when you think I'm not watching, like you're memorizing my face in case you never see it again. I love you so much it terrifies me. Because if you leave, really leave, I won't survive it. Not the way my mother survived. I won't sit in an armchair and watch TV with the sound off. I'll shatter. I'll become something unrecognizable. And I've been so afraid of that shattering that I've spent 7 years holding myself together with silence and lies. But here's the thing I'm only now beginning to understand. You already left. And I'm still here. I'm not shattered. I'm not my mother. I'm just a woman who made a terrible mistake and is finally ready to admit it. Leo, I don't know if you'll come back. I don't know if I deserve for you to come back. You asked me once what I wanted. I said you. That wasn't true. What I wanted was to be safe, to be protected, to never feel the pain my mother felt. That's not love. That's cowardice. Love is the risk. Love is the leap. Love is opening the door even though someone might walk through it and never come back. I'm opening the door now. I'm not asking you to forgive me. I'm not asking you to come home. I'm asking you to know, really know, who I am. The broken parts. The scared parts. The parts I've been hiding since I was 7. This is me, Leo. This is all of me. If you still want to love me after reading this, I'll be here. I'll be waiting. Not in the apartment. I don't think I can stay there without you. But somewhere. Somewhere you can find me. And if you don't come back, if this letter is too late, if I've finally pushed you too far, then I understand. I'll spend the rest of my life learning to forgive myself for losing the best thing that ever happened to me. But I want you to know one thing. You were right. All those years ago, when you said I was emotionally unavailable, you were right. And I'm sorry I never fixed it. I'm sorry I made you carry the weight of my fear. I'm sorry I made you prove yourself every single day, when all you ever did was love me. Thank you for trying. Thank you for staying as long as you did. And if this is goodbye, I hope you find someone who isn't afraid. Someone who doesn't need 7 years and 7 letters to say the truth. Someone who will tear down her walls before you have to climb them. I hope you find her, Leo. You deserve her. And I'm sorry it wasn't me. Love. Nora. P.S. I'm going to the bench. The one in the park where we had our first picnic. I'll be there tomorrow at noon. I'll wait 1 hour. If you come, I'll be the girl with red eyes and a heart that's finally, after 7 years, wide open. If you don't, then this is the last letter I'll ever write you. And for the first time, I'll send it. Here's what happened next. The park was empty when she arrived. It was December. Cold. The kind of cold that settles in your bones and makes you regret leaving the house. Nora sat on the bench, their bench, and pulled her coat tighter. She had been there since 11:30. She couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't do anything but wait. She brought the shoebox. Inside, the 7 letters she never sent, the 8th letter she just wrote, and his ring. She didn't know why she brought the ring. Maybe to give it back. Maybe to ask for it again. Maybe just to hold something he had touched. 11:45, no one. 11:58, a man walked by with a dog. Not him. 12 o'clock, Nora looked at her phone. No messages. No missed calls. She thought about the letter, about the line. If you don't come back, I understand. She didn't understand. She understood nothing. She understood that she had ruined the only good thing in her life, and that she deserved to sit on this cold bench alone. 12:07, a woman with a stroller. A teenager on a skateboard. A flock of pigeons that scattered for no reason. 12:15, Nora's phone buzzed. Her heart stopped. It was a spam email. She almost laughed. Almost cried. Did both at the same time, which hurt in a way she didn't know was possible. 12:22, she started to pack up the shoebox. She would leave the ring on the bench. That felt like closure. Like something a person in a movie would do. She stood up. She placed the ring on the wooden slats. She turned to walk away. And then, I was almost late. She spun around. Leo was standing 10 feet away. He was wearing the same coat he'd worn the day he left. His beard was longer. His eyes were red, like he hadn't slept either. In his hand, he held a piece of paper. Her letter. The 8th one. You came, she whispered. You sent it, he said. You actually sent it. After 7 years of hiding, you finally sent the truth. I should have sent it sooner. Yeah, he said. You should have. They stood there, frozen, 10 feet apart. The park was still cold. The pigeons had come back. A car honked somewhere in the distance. Leo walked toward her. Slowly, like he was approaching something fragile. I read your letter, he said. Every word. Twice. 3 times. And I'm still angry. Nora nodded. She expected that. I'm angry that you lied to me for 7 years. I'm angry that you made me guess what you were feeling. I'm angry that you let me propose to you when you didn't even believe you deserved to be loved. You're right, she said. You're right about all of it. I know I'm right. So why are you here? He stopped. He was 3 feet away now, close enough that she could see the tears in his eyes, not falling, just sitting there, ready. "Because I read the letter," he said. "And for the first time in 7 years, I saw you. The real you. The one you've been hiding. And she's not broken. She's scared. There's a difference." "I don't know how to be not scared," Nora said. "I know. I don't know if I'll ever be able to trust that you won't leave. I know. I might mess up again. I might shut down. I might." "Stop," he said. "Just stop." He took the last step. He was right in front of her now. He reached out and took her hand, the one without the ring. "I didn't come back because I think you're fixed," he said. "I came back because you finally showed me the crack. And cracks let light in." She started to cry. Not quiet tears this time. The ugly kind. The kind she'd been holding back for 7 years. "I'm sorry," she said. "I'm so sorry. I know. I love you. I know that too." He picked up the ring from the bench. He looked at it. The small diamond, the silver band, the inscription inside that read, "Forever, even when it's hard." "This ring," he said, "I gave it to you because I meant forever. Not the easy kind. The kind that survives 7 years of silence and 1 terrible week of absence. I don't deserve it." "Maybe not," he said, "but I'm not giving it to you because you deserve it. I'm giving it to you because I love you. And love isn't about deserving. It's about choosing. Every day, even when it's hard." He held out the ring. Nora looked at it, then at him, then at the shoebox on the bench, the 7 letters, the 8th letter, 7 years of fear, and finally, 1 moment of courage. She held out her hand. He slid the ring onto her finger. "Don't hide from me anymore," he said. "I won't. Promise. Promise." He kissed her. It was cold and wet and tasted like tears. It was the best kiss of her life. They sat on the bench for a long time after that. Nora talked. Really talked. She told him about her father, not the short version, the long one, the ugly one. She told him about the nights she cried herself to sleep when she was 12. About the years she spent convinced she was unlovable. About the therapy she never finished and the medication she never took and the dream she still had, sometimes, of a door slamming shut. Leo listened. He didn't fix anything. He didn't offer solutions. He just sat there, holding her hand, letting her speak. When she was done, she was exhausted. Empty, but in a good way. In a way that felt like the beginning of something. "What now?" she asked. "Now," he said, "we go home. And tomorrow, we find you a therapist. A real one. And you go. Every week. Even when you don't want to. Okay. And I'll go with you. If you want. Or I'll wait in the car. Or I'll make you dinner after. Whatever you need. Okay. And you write me a letter every year. But this time, you give it to me. On our anniversary. No shoebox." She laughed. It was a wet, broken sound. But it was real. "Okay," she said again. He smiled. "That's 3 okays. Are you sure you're feeling all right?" She punched his arm. Lightly. "Shut up." He pulled her close. They sat on the bench until the sun went down and the park lights came on. They didn't talk much. They didn't need to. The shoebox stayed on the bench between them. Not as a wall. As a reminder. Of 7 years of silence. Of 1 letter that changed everything. Of the cracks that let the light in. Nora kept the letters. All 8 of them. She put them in a drawer instead of a closet. Sometimes, late at night, she reads them. Not because she's still hiding. Because she needs to remember how far she's come. Leo was right about one thing. Cracks let light in. But he was wrong about another. She wasn't broken. She was just waiting for someone patient enough to read her letters.